Good everyone, my name is Graphics. If you look at the right hand side of the screen, you see a question here. And the question says that shown in figure 1 and figure 2 is an elevation of a truncated sheet metal cone, open at both ends. Draw the given view and construct A plan view, B the development of the truncated cone with the seam as indicated. Now, before I will say anything here, I'll first of all draw out the given views that was illustrated in the figure given. So let's start. Now, the first thing you first of all do is to draw your horizontal axis this way. I'll be doing them simultaneously. Then you will draw the vertical axis this way. Can you see that? I can extend it more if I want to. Hope you can see that. Now this is the center, this is another center here. Now we're given the entire length of that cone to be 64. So I'm going to take my meter rule and I'm going to measure 64. So let's say from this point, if I take my compass from 0 here to 32, give us half of 64, right? And I'll place it at this midpoint here, and I'm going to mark 32 at the right hand side and also 32 at the left hand side. And I'll do that here also because I am doing them simultaneously. Whatever I did for the first one, I'll do for the second one. Now the height, you can see is given to be what? 64. We know that from here to here is 64. So I can take this instead of just measuring it again. From this point to this point is our 64. And I'll place it at this point here and I'll draw 64. Then I'll come here also, I'll draw 64. So what we'll see is the base here is thickened. You can easily see this base here. And the base here is also thickened. Right? Then I'll draw my line to come over to this height here. Faint line. From here also, faint line. The same thing happens here. Hope you can see that. Now after we've done that, we're not told that this is a cone, but this cone now has been worked upon. How did I mean? They have cut out some part of this cone. They removed a part of this cone with a radius of what? Of 50, right? And also from here also with a radius of what? 50. So I am going to take my compass, right? I will measure the distance. You can see from here to here is 38. So I'm going to measure 38 in this manner. Or instead of doing that, just measure 38 on your meter rule. From 0 to 38. From this center point here. From 0 to 38. This is 38 here. Can you see that? And I'll take it up. I don't have to take it up. You just measure the next one, which is given as 54. So I'm going to measure 54. from this point. So this is what I'll just do. Take your instrument, measure 54, right? Then I'll come to this point. I will strike an arc. Can you see that? I'll come where? To this point. I'll strike an arc. And I'll come again. I'll measure 38. From 0 to 38. Hope you can see that. And I'll come to this apex point here. I'll strike another arc. So where they meet is the point you're going to place your compass and draw the arc of the radius of what? 50. So I'll now take my instrument here and I'm going to measure the radius of 50. Use 50 here. And when I place it at this point, I'll be having this. Hope you can see that. It seems to be applied here too. So let me just quickly taking this one out. So I'm having this one here. And I'm having this from here. And I'm also going to take in this. So let me take in this and complete this. So this is what we have. We have drawn out the two shape you can see here. Now, the next thing that we're going to do here is that they now give two different things. They said here the seam is here. This is AA. While here the seam is here, which is what? AA. So what it simply means is that this figure here will be cut open from here. While this figure here will be cut open from here. So we'll have two different kind of development, but the plan will remain the same. So look at this now. If you can stay to the end of the video, this is what they actually mean here. For this is what we have here. And for this is what we have here. So at the end of the video, I am going to show you what it means to say here is a seam and here is a seam. So I want you to stay tuned to the end of the video. So let's proceed. Now the next thing you're going to do is, if I say here is a seam, just watch and see. If I say here is a seam, it means that I am cutting open of this part here. And when I cut it open, this is what I will see. That means I'm opening it from here. You cut the cocoon open from the side. And you see a development that looks like this. Because here is the seam. Right? Now, that is by the way. But at this point here, means here is the seam. Means that you cut it open from this part here. And when you open at this part here, you'll be having something like this. Can you see the difference between seam now? So the seam tells you where it is being cut open, which I will show you exactly what we're going to get at the end of the video. So let's proceed and see how it goes. Now the first thing we'll just do here, the second thing we'll do is just to take your instrument and you draw an horizontal line this way. And also draw another horizontal line this way. Remember, they are the same thing. I'm going to start with this, right? I'll leave this first. I have my reason. Now, I'll come to this. The radius of this base is 32. I'll place it at this base here, this point here, and I'll draw a circle. Can you see that? And I'll place it here. I'll strike an arc up. I'll strike an arc down. I'll place it here. I'll strike an arc up. I'll strike an arc down. With the same radius, I'll place it here. I can just cut here and here if I want to. And I can place it here also. I'll cut here and here. So you can do it at both sides. So now what you need to understand is, this is 0. Since here is the seam, are you with me? So here will become 0. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to 0. So when you complete it to divide your circle, it means from here I will just connect 1 to go through the center and to meeting 5. I hope you can see what I am portraying here. Then from 4 here, come in here. Then from 4 here also, passing through the center. From 5, passing through the center. Can you see that? Now I'll do the same thing here. So let me just quickly do this. The same thing, I'm applying it here. Now you can see that. So in this case here now, since here is AA, my 0 will start from here. Are you with me? So I'll go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Can you see the difference? I'm starting from 0 here because here is my seam. I'm starting from 0 here because here is what? My seam. This is what I'm cutting open. So if I just take this to this point, I'll project each of this edge to make the base. This edge too. Here. This also. You can just bring them down. Hope you can see that. Now the next thing that we're doing is, now I'll move this to one side here. Okay. Just pick a point. I say this point, I'm picking this point. Point A. And here is what? My point A. So here represent my apex and I'm doing it here. Now I will not draw a straight line along that point A. I'll now take my instrument and take the radius of the longest side of my triangle, my cone. So this is the longest side here. Right? So when I place it at point A here, this is where I will now draw. This is where I will now draw my curve. Hope you can see that. So we mean that this point here, you see, that will be my point 0. So the seam, the distance of the seam, so I'm taking it from A to 0 here because this is 0. Can you see the 0 line? So from A to 0, so from A to 0. Then I'll now take each of these demarcation here. I'm drawing development now. So when I place it here, I'm going to mark here and here. I'll come here also, I'll mark here, I'll come here too, I'll mark here, just that way, here too, here too, here also, and I'll come here too, I'll do the same thing. So this will now be 0, 1. This will now be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have the last point here, 6. So this will be 6. While here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Meaning that the endpoint, the seam is always at the beginning, while the other part that is not the seam will be at the end. So since here is 6, 6 will always be at the end. So have that, take that in mind, or keep that in mind. So I'll come here and I'll use my rule, and I'm going to join all this towards the center. I hope you can see that. So you do that. Then the next thing that I'll be doing here is, so I'm going to rename here back. Right? This is not what I ought to use here. What I'll do here is this, because this is our seam here. So it means that this side will be from the center here. So what I'll do is I'm going to clean this and rewrite this back. So this will be 0, because our seam, that is where will be at the end. This will be 1, this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hope you can see that. So meaning that here will be our beginning here. So let's start. So once I take my instrument from A, this is A, I'll come to A and I'm going to target this point 0 here. Then I'll come to A also, I'm going to mark 0 is at this end and also 0 is at this end, which I can easily just stick in it from this point to this point and from this point to this point. So I can easily call here to be my 0, my A here also. This is A and this is what? A. All together. Now the next one is a line of 1. This line of 1 here. So I'll come from 0, from A to 1. Then I'll come to this point because this is a line of 1. If you look, trace it, and this line of 1 here. I'll mark on 1 here and also here. I'll come to the line of 2. This is a line of 2. I'll place it from A to 2. Right? Then I'll come to this point A and I'll mark on 2 here and also here. I'll come to the line of 3, place it from on A to 3. I'll come to A here, I'll mark on the line of 3. This is 3 here, and this is also what? 3 here. I'll come from A to the line of 4. Right, is the line of 4. Then I'll come to this point. I'll mark on 4 and also on 4. I'll do the same thing from the line of 5. This is 5 here. I'll place it on this point. I'll mark on the line of 5 here, line of 5 here. Then the last but not the least, from A to 6 here. Right, I'll come here. I'll mark the line of 6. So these are all the points that we are joining together. So you use a French curve and you're going to join all these together. Can you see that? And use a French curve and you join all these together. from here. Can you see that? So this is what we have when you're developing this, and that's what I showed you here. When I place my this way, right, and I open it from here, we're seeing something similar to this. Hope you can see that. So that's development of the figure when you make here to be the same. Just like I explained, if here is the same, means that the same means that it will be at the end. So at the end, y means that from the center here, that's where we're going to start from. So the center here is our 6. So 6 will come down to 0, and 6 will come down to 0, just like we. Now, the next thing, after we've completed development, is for we to draw the complete plan. And what you're going to do in situation like this is that you take your instrument, right? If you look at this, this is 0.6, and this is where 6 is. This is 0.6 here. So I'm going to draw the point of 6 here, where it's inclined with this arc. I'll draw it down. So where 6 meets 6 is a point. Can you see that? Then I'll go to 5. This is the line of 5, and this is where 5 meets here. I'll go to that point. I'm going to bring 5 down. Now since I have 5 up and 5 down, this is 0.5, and this is another what? 0.5. Now I'll go again, 0.4. This is where 0.4 intersects the arc. From that point, I'll bring it down. So where 0.4 meets 0.4 is another point. I'll come, we already have 3 here, just center there, so it's meeting at this point here and this point. So the next one is 2. So the 2 will come down. So 2 will meet at this point and also at this point. Then we have 1 at this point. Here is the line of 1. I'll bring it down. So 1 is meeting at this point and at this point. Then the last but not the least, 0 from here. If I take it down, this is where 0 is meeting. Right? So this is all what we have here from here to here. So I will connect all these points you see here. Right? And all these points you see here. Right? Including these 3 you see here. And here. Hope you can see that. Now I'll now use my instrument this time. I can easily thicken it. So if you're looking from up, you see this some part of this side, which is what we have here, and the entire back here. So this is, I can easily just section this part here, if I want to. This side was cut off. Altogether, these are the parts that we will there's the development. The plan, the complete plan, looking at it from the top. So when you cut here off, right, if you're looking from the plan, you're going to see all this side that has been exposed. And some part of this, because it's inclined, you've seen some part of this point here is around here, and this 6, right? But the base will not change because the base is still there. So that's what we have. So for the other one, we are constructing 2. I mean this particular one here. You do the same thing here. But the difference between this and that is that For this case, this is our seam all together. So we'll cut it open from here just like I showed you in the beginning of the video. And in this case here, this is where we'll cut it open. How did I mean? This is what I mean here. For this, let's assume this is our shape here. Can you see that? And for the other one, let's assume that this is our shape here. Can you see that? So when you said here AA is the same, it means that when I say here AA is the same, it means that you're going to cut it open from that particular part and you open it. And that is the development. That is something like this that we have. Are we together? While here, when they say that here AA here is the same, you're going to open it this way and you'll be having something like this. Which I say that if you want to know how to draw development of this, right, to be sure if you get the correct shape, you click on this link at the top right corner of the screen to take you to the video that will show you on how to solve this particular problem. Is that taken? And for the plan, they will both have the same plan. It will not change. It's only development that will change. So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.